Hello, and thank you everyone for tuning into another episode of The Joel Show. Today I'm here with my friend George from HeyInnovations. We're going to talk about digital ecosystems. Many companies today are experiencing issues with growth or breaking into new markets. The reason for this is that they don't fully understand the digital ecosystem in which they operate. There might be some confusion around the term digital ecosystem, what it is, and why it's important. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to George to introduce himself and tell us a little bit more about innovations and their strategy and how they're engaging customers.
Yeah, hi Joel. It's good to be here with you. HeyInnovations, we really can talk about us as a development agency, and we can do a regular mobile app or website, but we prefer to focus on projects that are more leaning towards a digital ecosystem, meaning we put together different multiple backends to one front-end interface, which ultimately becomes what we call a super app, connecting a network of partnering services like multiple lines of business together in one app. It could be vertical. Let's talk about practical examples, really. Think about home renovation services. So there's a company that provides, and if they want to make it vertical, so they want to make sure that they integrate in their app everything from their client buying all the materials, then finding the right design team to work together on how their house is going to look like after the renovation, then finding and contracting with some contractors who would come and really do the work, and then afterwards maybe some interior design and whatever else that may be there to cover all the needs from the moment they have an idea that they want to renovate their house, their home, to all the way to the very last moment that they look around and they think, "Oh my God, I did it." So that would be an example of the vertical ecosystem or super app. And so in different cases for different businesses, what we're really offering to our clients is the expertise to come in and to see what is their business potential to grow and to turn into a digital ecosystem, and what type of ecosystem it should be to make it more profitable. So for each case, we first try to look into business challenges, or what are the business goals that company has. And that's always the thing that we start with. And I know that it correlates with what you do with your OKRs framework.
Absolutely. When it comes to things like OKRs, what sets OKRs apart from other frameworks is the focus on innovation, right? You want to change something, you want to be better, you want to take it to the next level. So, George, could you share with us some of the ways that you've helped organizations take it to the next level with building that vertical or horizontal slice and evolving their organization and developing their customer base?
So one of the cases that comes to my mind is one of my favorite ones. And I'll tell you the story because it starts with a business that it was back during the COVID pandemic. So the business is selling sporting goods online, so it's like e-commerce. And at the time, like, the market was good for e-com, and especially for different type of equipment to build your home gym or whatever, to exercise at home and not to go to your regular gyms, let's say.
Right.
So, but what that particular business observed is that their market share was being eaten by marketplaces. So, and they saw that the competition is there, and even though they're financially were doing well, they were growing still, but they saw that something is not right, and if that trajectory kept on, that they would be endangered. They told us about the problem that they had from the business perspective. We looked at what they were doing. They were just selling goods online, sporting goods. Sometimes, sporting clothes, some accessories, but generally, sporting goods. And we thought, okay, what other needs that your client base, your audience, target audience, might want to cover, might need, that they can do from your interface, from your app. And first it was, done by our analytics team. They looked into all the data, what the customer profile is, what they were, shopping for, what they were buying, what they were coming back for, what's most interesting. And then we realized that really they would better position themselves to be anything and everything about healthy, lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
not just selling sporting goods. So we introduced a whole ecosystem where they started to provide everything from sports equipment repair all the way to events for their community members. So they started to build community locally in different towns where people could see, okay, what's going on? Is there like a group of people jogging tomorrow? Do you want to join? Yes, I do. Let me sign up. All the way to medical health checkups. Encompassing really different activities that the clients, the users of that sporting goods retailer were
Yeah.
interested in. But eventually, after we released the project, they reached the metrics that almost doubled their initial goal. So we got almost to 15% increase in average transaction for a user, which was impressive. And still the company is working with HeyInnovations, and they're they're nurturing this ecosystem, adding more puzzles, more services, more pieces together, and bringing more partners. So some of that they do through their direct businesses, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they partner with, let's say, different healthcare providers. Like there are different doctors that they connect to the system, and when the user of that sporting good retailer wants to have a checkup, they sign up for that particular healthcare provider. Again, this is a synergy that comes into play,
Right.
combining what was previously not even close together in terms of the businesses. So
Right.
that's a good example.
That example really resonates with me. Recently, I purchased a rowing machine. In particular, I got a hydro row.
Well,
Now, what sets hydro row apart from other rowing machines, right? I can go down to Costco, for example, and just buy a regular rowing machine, right? It's much cheaper than a hydro row. They do the exact same thing.
yeah,
What sets them apart is integration with other Hydro Row members. So,
mm,
one day you can do yoga, you can do strength training, you can do a Hydro Row 30 minutes of that or 15 minutes of that, and then do stretching in addition to it. There
right,
are leaderboards. There are a whole ecosystem to just connect you and make you feel like you're part of a larger community, going beyond, just standard exercise equipment, right? Really considering, who's my customer? What do they want? How can I make them feel connected to the other people also striving for healthy living, right? So yeah, I like that you guys dived into why. Why would someone buy this product,
yeah.
right? And you really got down to the root cause and then started to build out that ecosystem behind the root cause for why and expand that customer base. That's really awesome.
Actually, let's build on top of what you just mentioned, an app that helps you to do your training, your gym, a membership app.
Mhm.
So I think, imagine you were doing this rowing exercise, and
Yeah.
then in the app or on the machine, you typically can see how many calories you burned during the exercise, right?
Yep. Hmm.
Okay, let's make this projection of this logic. If you burn a certain number of calories, let's say this company and this app or the equipment app would partner with a healthy snack or healthy food provider that would know exactly, specifically, precisely how many calories in each, portion in each, snack bar, and then by the time you've finished your exercise, you could see, okay, this is how many calories I burned, and based on your program, based on your diet, depending on whether you want to gain or lose weight, you could choose right there from the interface. Okay, this time I want to take this particular item for my snagging or for my next meal preparation, and then boom, it gets delivered to your front door
Right.
in half an hour, because it's the partnership that established, and you get your warehouses around your neighborhood and whatnot. So this is a good example.
That would be amazing, especially in my community. There are so many like food delivery services. Like you have Instacart, you have Home Chef, you have all kinds of companies who have chefs that make really great food in the area, and they'll deliver it to you every week. Hey Innovations really comes into play to help customers establish and grow.
Yeah.
What do you look for when saying, okay, now's the most perfect time to innovate?
Yeah, that's actually a good question, and I don't think there's a ultimate answer that fits everyone. So in my experience, it's always about ability to justify and to explain, on the client's side, side, why it is not okay for them to move on the way they were moving on, until that point. So it's not only a matter of budget or technology available or a great idea that someone pitches to them. So it's about something that's happening on the business side. They want something not incrementally better and improved, but transformational, something like a change that would allow them to show that, look, after what I have done, this is the order of magnitude difference that our business has now.
Your team helps customers break into industry, right? To expand their growth, to get into those blue oceans. And you realize that the barrier to entry is much lower than the executives initially anticipated.
Yeah.
And it is at that moment when everyone realizes, oh my gosh, this can become a reality. The barrier to entry is a lot more attainable than when we first started. Maybe because we have more market share now, maybe because we understand our customers better now. But now that we understand them, we can start to target other areas. For example, we see things like Microsoft getting into the industry of whiteboarding, right? Before, there were whiteboarding tools like Mural. So now Microsoft is like, well, we have this thing called Teams that's now challenging Zoom, but now let's evolve a little bit more to give people whiteboarding capabilities that's now going to challenge Mural.
Yeah.
So now we're like, we're going to give you everything you need. So you can write your documents, you can get on a Teams call, you can DM and message each other like you would with Slack. You can do whiteboarding like you would with Mural, all in one platform, all in one package, without having to go from platform to platform, and you get that seamless integration. So the barriers to entry are getting lower and lower and lower, and it's at that moment that I'm hearing that you guys help companies really deliver that product to target the customers in that new area or with that new capability to solve their problems.
Yeah, you're right. I think the greatest strength, the greatest value that innovations bring to the table is this early stage of business design of the ecosystem. It's the fundamental piece that everything else comes after that. And even though most of our clients, they would say probably that the reason they chose Hey Innovation was because of the great design and visuals and our UI, user experience portfolio and capabilities, or business analysts But ultimately, it's that high level architecture in terms of the ecosystem, and our background in doing projects like that. So I think that's right. And also, what I noticed, you mentioned Microsoft and whiteboarding. Similar thing happens. We see that in telecommunications industry, for instance. Like telcos are now trying to compete in many areas, in many games, business games, and similar way.
Yeah.
Some other companies are coming into their territory, but like some mobile operators that I see now, I can take my phone and I can, like, when I go to any place where I need to pay, let's say a gas station. What they're doing is that they try to convince people to use their apps instead of banking apps. Like since they have already your contact information, they have your bank cards, debit cards, credit cards in some cases, or you can put your money on your account and you can pay from there. So like it becomes easier if there are some incentives for me to go, and when I pay for my gas, just to scan a QR code and then open it within my telco app and pay.
Yeah.
Because when I pay, I get some certain bonus or some discount, or I get some special promotion, or this telco is partnering with airline uh, uh, airlines, and then I can get some flights based on this promotion or special price offer. So we see that everywhere where the user engagement through the interface of a mobile app or a website becomes paramount in terms of kind of day trading, people's attention to make sure that whatever this target audience is doing, if they once they became this business clients, business wants to make sure that they can cover as many things that are meaningful and complementary to their core service, thereby just providing amazing offering, and ultimately helping them to get the most value for each dollar they spend using their tools.
I really want to hone in on one of the key words that you said a couple of times, and that's make it easy for the customer to say yes. Right? Make it easy. You have the data, you have the information, use it to help them get to yes, to buy, right? To join the membership, right? Help them get the information they need and make it super easy.
Yeah.
George, what do you want to leave us with?
Yeah, I think the best thing is to think about your particular business and your goals. And I could think of any type of setting. So I could think of a restaurant chain in a state where it's not national leader, it's not a company that dominates the market, but it has the local presence, and it needs to compete with those federal, national chains. So how does it want to, and how can it differentiate itself and make its offering so appealing and so nicely put together for the local users, people who live in that state, so that they choose this offering and this a restaurant chain offer over any bigger, more famous, and more present on the market brand, and that all of that lies into in a category of, okay, what do we want to bring in? What are the goals of ours? Like how we want to arrange the architecture of our major digital ecosystem. What can even be part of that vision? When we talk about vision, 2, 3, 5, 10 years forward from now, if we are not just sticking to the business that we are doing, but if we are not limited, we can connect any type of partner that we can think of that would provide ultimate benefit and synergy. Do it correctly first with
Absolutely.
and come to us to make sure that we can take care of the design and development of their product.
Awesome. George, I loved having you on our show today. If you want to learn more about, you know, being innovative and solving some of your top challenges, or maybe just a quick call, to talk to a tree, to shoot the breeze on, or bounce some ideas off of, we love calls where we're like, hey, you know what? I have a challenge. I have a problem. I just want to bounce some ideas off of you guys. That's our favorite type of call. You can book some time and we can shoot the breeze a little bit, right? We can do a little innovative happy hour if you like. Thank you for listening.